Good morning, everyone. I'm Miss Spitzley, and today our topic is bending, curling, stretching, and twisting. And we're going to do this by creating body shapes. Just find a safe space, an open space, and you just need yourself today to do these activities. And the use of curling, stretching, twisting, and bending and creating body shapes is to have more body awareness. So before we get into the activities, let's start with the warm-up. Let's first start with doing jumping jacks. Everybody jump out like a starfish and jump in. We're gonna do this 10 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to march in place. Bring your knees to your chest and swing your arms. We're gonna do this for 10 seconds, slowly. Now let's speed it up a little bit. And now let's do some high knees. Still bring your knees to your chest, but now you're just kind of bouncing off the floor. All right, and we'll bring it back together, and then we're just gonna end with some arm circles, really stretching our whole body. Make your circles as big as possible. And then switch directions. All right. Before we get into our activities, I want you to identify your self space, just to make sure you're not gonna hit anything in the general space. I also want you to recognize certain body parts. These body parts are going to be important when we make our body shapes. Remember, this is your back, this is your stomach, and these are your arms, and these are gonna be important when we're creating different body shapes. And then lastly, we're gonna review the levels. So really high levels when you're on your tiptoes and you're really high up. A medium level is when you're kind of just standing here, you have maybe a slight bend to your knees. And a low level is when you're on the floor or like squatting down. Okay, so let's get into the first activity. We're gonna create round body shapes, and we're going to do this by creating an arc in our back like this and rounding our back, or you can stretch your stomach and create like a round stomach like this way. So just be very aware of your body, and let's create some really round body shapes, and we can do this in all levels. So let's first start with rounding our back and curving it, and we can use our arms to make a really good curve. And we can make ourselves even more round by touching our toes. And now let's go back up and stretch all the way back. We can stretch to the right and create a round body shape. And we're always rounding our back or curving our back. Let's go to the left. All right, and then how about you pause the video and create a couple round body shapes by yourself and hold them for 5 seconds, really feeling all your body muscles and your stomach and your back and your arms working to create a round body shape. Once you're done, you can unpause the video, and now we're going to create some narrow body shapes. When we do a narrow body shape, we're bringing everything together as tight as possible. We can still incorporate all different levels while we're doing this. We can be really, really high and narrow. We can be low, and then we can also sit on the ground and create a really narrow body shape. So let's try to create some narrow body shapes. Let's go up really, really high and put our arms all together and our legs together. We can go down to the floor and touch our toes and create ourselves really small. We can stretch to the right and the left. Pause the video and create some really narrow body shapes. And think about using your right and your left side to make yourself as narrow and as tight as possible. All right, now for our next activity, we're gonna work on creating really wide body shapes. So this is just stretching our body parts out as far as possible. Let's think about our arms, stretching them out as far as possible, and our legs. We can We can create a lot of variation of levels in this by stretching our legs out even further and stretching our arms out. We can go all the way down to the ground and stretch our legs out and stretch our arms. You can also do this by stretching way out to one side and just making a really wide starfish almost position. Pause the video and create a couple different wide body shapes when you're working on those. And then when you're ready, we're going to create some twisted body shapes when you unpause the video. So now we're going to create twisted body shapes. We're going to review planes real quick. The different planes of our body. We have a couple different planes in our body. We're going to focus on our transverse plane, which is our horizontal plane that goes right through our body. And we're going to manipulate this plane by twisting our spine into like a spiral and positioning ourselves in different ways to create twisted body shapes. Create a couple different twisted body shapes, and you can stretch your arms out as wide, you can be narrow and twist your body, you can be low and twist your body. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video after you've created a couple different twisted body shapes, and then we're going to get into another activity. All right, now we're going to progress with our different body shapes. We're going to combine the 4 different body shapes we talked about, which were round, narrow, wide, and twisted. And we're going to combine a couple of those ideas to create different body shapes. I really want you to pay attention to what your body is doing and how wide or narrow, round, or twisted you're creating yourself and what body parts you're using to do that. So first, we're going to create a wide and twisted body shape. So that means twisting our spine and stretching our body out as far as possible. See, we're both wide and twisted. Now let's try a narrow and twisted body shape. Twist your body. See, we're both maintaining a narrow body shape and a twisted one. Now let's try a round and narrow body shape. We can curve our back and keep our legs and arms together still. Try to hold each of these positions for as long as you can and really feel all your body parts work. And now let's try to create a wide and round body shape. And we can maybe do this by arching our back and creating a different round kind of thing. Or you can even try going forward. Okay, once you got enough practice with that, we're gonna play a game. I'm gonna say a noun, and you're gonna try to make the shape that the noun is. So let's start. Let's start with the starfish. Can everyone show me a starfish? What kind of body shapes are you making here? The answer would be wide. Let's try a candy cane. Yes, both round and narrow here. Let's try a rock. You're round and you're at a low level now. Let's try a pencil. You're narrow here. Think of all the different nouns you have in your house. Think of different fruits, like an orange. You can try orange. Again, we're round and we're low. And now let's try a twisted straw, like a spiral straw that you sometimes can get. We're twisted and narrow here. All right, let's come together, find your personal space again, and we're gonna do a little cool down. We can start by sitting down and just stretch and touch our toes. Think about the body shape you're creating here and what you're doing with your body. We're kind of rounding our back and we're keeping our legs together to be as narrow as possible. And now let's stretch to the right and to the left. All right. So today we reviewed levels, personal space, body shapes, and planes. We worked on body shapes by twisting, stretching, bending, and curling, and we created a lot of different positions with our body. There's a lot of different shapes you can make, and you can keep practicing making shapes with your body while you go on with your day-to-day life, and just pay attention to your body. The uses of twisting, curling, bending, and stretching are to create body awareness, so we know what our body is doing when we're doing other activities, and we come really in tune with our body, our mind and body connection. I hope you enjoyed today's activity, and I'll see you next time.